your 2014 champion, Stephanie Howe.
Brian Palavai Far here with Aliza Lapierre before the 2015 Western States 100. Welcome back, Aliza.
Thanks, Brian. Happy to be here.
How many Western States is this?
I've completed 3, so this will be my 4th attempt.
And there was one non-completion in there?
Last year I was not able to run due to an injury, so I've completed 3 out of 3 attempts, but did have to decline my spot last year.
And what was that injury last year?
Broken metatarsal.
But you're all good now.
Knock on wood, I'm coming in healthy.
You've had a good season, in fact.
I would actually disagree.
You would disagree. Why is that?
Bandera was a good race, but it was kind of off the couch, not in peak form. Trans Gran Canaria, I was hoping for a good day.
That was not a...
That was an epically bad day. Happy I finished. Learned a lot, but didn't play out the way I wanted it to. And then I've got 2 training 50 mile races under my belt.
And those went well.
Those went well, but again...
So 3 out of 4 is not bad.
Again, training races and not really A races. So, yeah, it will be interesting to see what happens here.
And it's a bit longer of a season. You're generally pretty conservative on number of races and when you start racing. But you've also, a number of those races have been training races. How do you feel? Have you been able to gauge your fitness? Throwing Trans Gran Canaria out. We have bad days.
I mean, I definitely felt relatively fit at Trans Gran Canaria. It was just stomach issues, and my legs felt good, but couldn't fuel, so that definitely regulated my pace and all of that. But it's really hard for me to gauge my fitness and my ability racing in New England versus racing at larger events, just because the competition level isn't always as high. Obviously, we've got great racers in New England, but this field is outstanding, very competitive. So it's hard to gauge myself, against a Stephanie Howe or a Michelle Yates because I don't get to race them very often.
Yeah. But although you haven't raced them particularly much, you've been racing on the Western States stage enough, enough other big races that you know how to race the top women.
Yeah, for me, I don't think I'm necessarily as talented and as gifted as those ladies. So I just try to rely on patience and knowing my own pace and my own limitations and hoping it plays out, later on and just having fun out there and seeing what happens.
And when you're, going within your own limits, how do you gauge that? Do you run by heart rate or by feel, or is it based on splits? How do you know that, oh yeah, this is a good pace from me at 30 miles or 40 miles?
Yeah, I think usually it's conversational pace. If I can't be having a conversation and cracking jokes and being silly, then it's too hard, especially that early on. I did my last training race by heart rate, which was the first time I've ever done that. It was pretty interesting, and it was fun, actually, and it really made me regulate my pace and make sure I didn't go out too hard.
Now, do you do that the whole race? Or I know I've run with Nikki Kimball here before, and conversational, singing songs, cracking jokes until a point, and then it's game face, go.
I've been working on that. I'm definitely like the friendly runner, I would say. Like, oh, you look tired. Do you want a goo? Do you want a shot block? Like, do you need salt? And I just want to have fun up to the end and make sure other people around me are doing the best they can. And if that means I give them a goo, then so be it. We're all out here because it's fun. And yeah, at the end of the day, I like the place well. But if I didn't have fun, it definitely doesn't mean as much.
Now, how does the competition, because obviously that has to be one of the draws for you coming back year after year here. Yeah. How does that play into the fun or the enjoyment, or how does that play into you coming back?
I think it's just a good test to see where I'm at, and if I'm staying honest with my training and my abilities. I'm definitely, a pessimist. I call myself a realist, but most people would probably say a pessimist. So I'm
yes.
not super confident, definitely, a little negative self-talk. So, it's good to get out of my comfort zone and race the best in the world and see where I stack up.
Obviously, this is a lot of the same people come back to this year
Mm-hmm.
after year up front with the top 10 returning in the Montreal Ultra Cup, Ultra Trail World Tour. Is there anybody up there that you'd particularly like to run with?
I've never actually met Stephanie Howe. I hope we at least get to share a few miles together. I've raced Michelle Yates, actually never gotten to share any miles with her because she's definitely more aggressive off the start than I am.
Yeah.
But I've always found it a treat to run around any of the ladies, even the guys. I feel like kind of gravitate towards the woman and the conversations they're having, and they're like, oh my god, this is great, like I'm just gonna stay behind you and just listen, like you guys are so entertaining. So it's sometimes we gab it up and sometimes we just go silent and encourage each other along the way. And so yeah.
And do you have any particular goals going into this one?
I'm a little cautious. I think Trans Gran Canaria was the first time I kind of had my heart set on a finishing. I really wanted to finish top 3. Thought that was a reach, but thought I was capable. And that didn't happen. I was way off my time goal and my position goal. So I'm definitely hesitant to like put my mind and heart out there again. So I do have some goals, but a lot can happen. We don't really know what the temperature is going to be yet. So kind of as we move closer to race day, I think my goals will get a little, I know we're close right now, but right now it's like, okay, maybe it's going to be 90. Tomorrow's going to be 100. So
this time tomorrow you might have a much better picture.
Better idea of if it's 100 degrees out, am I going to run 18 hours? Probably not. So.
But if it's 90 degrees in Auburn.
Yeah. And 100 miles is a long way, so kind of take it.
So you do run this awfully conservative, not awfully conservative, but that's the way you trend in racing. Do you ever feel like you just want to throw it out there one day? Because this is your 4th time back here, and just go Michelle Yates style, or just.
Yeah, I think it was 2 years ago where before I got injured, you and I had talked about like I really want to train for Western, like I can go out and win it. And then I got injured, and it was okay, and now I'm going to run it to finish it and hopefully top 10 and get a slot. So, I'm back, and this is a competitive field, and do I think I'm going to win? No. But do I want to, have my presence felt out there and give those girls a run for their money? Yeah, I do. Because that will help them have their best day and hopefully help me too.
Awesome. Well, good luck out there.
Thanks,
and
Brian.
Enjoy it.
Thanks for your coverage.
Cool.
Oh, thanks.